humor in adversity. We've all heard the famous proverb that laughter is the best medicine. But is it really? So, last year, August 2023, I quite literally broke my back. L4 and L5 slip disc injury. And my first thought, wow, even my spine knows how to procrastinate. It's breaking down 2 discs at a time instead of all 5 together. It was probably the most painful moment in my life. And trust me, I take IV, so I know pain. The thing is though, when I was faced with the most painful moment in my life, my mind directly went to jokes and making fun of the situation I was in. I was less than 17 and I already had back problems. Come on, there are better ways to breaking my back than bending the wrong way or working out a little too much. But see, that's the thing about my generation. You could be telling us an asteroid is hitting the planet and our first thought would be making memes out of it. I'm not joking, this was September 2024 when an asteroid missed our planet. But don't listen to me. Look at the facts, look at the science. When we laugh, we release endorphins. That is your body's natural painkiller. Not just that, it reduces our overall cortisol levels. Hence, we're more calm, we're more relaxed, we can make better decisions. Let's look at some of the research, why don't we? Professor Robin Dunbar at Oxford University showcased that laughter increases our pain tolerance by over 20 minutes because of the release of endorphins. This was backed up by Thomas Benz and his Swiss team, who showcased that laughing during comedy films also helped increase pain tolerance by 20 minutes. Now, 20 minutes is a lot of time, but let's look at some more personal experiences. Norman Cousins, in his book of Anatomy of an Illness, showcased how he battled through his disease. And even during that much pain, laughter was the one thing that helped him. Let's look at the psychology. Cognitive reframing is a technique used to shift your mindset so you're able to look at a situation, relationship, or even person from a slightly different perspective. And sometimes isn't that all we need? A different perspective. I mean, when I first broke my back, I was upset. People looked at me like I was fragile, and it wasn't the best feeling in the world. But as soon as I started making self-deprecating jokes about how I needed a senior citizenship discount, or about how I should be the only one allowed to sit on a metro station, it became a little bit easier. It created a bridge between my friends, and created a bridge between the people and I. It reminded all of us that at the end of the day, regardless of the pain, we're all human, and I'm very funny. See, there are 2 main ways in which we can cope with problems, and 2 main ways in which we can look at humor, right? First, positive reinterpretation. Now, what does this mean? Taking a bad situation and reframing it in a positive light, or rather reframing it in a light-hearted way. This is also linked to healthy, positive human traits. The other way is de-emphasizing. De-emphasizing is when you downplay the seriousness of the situation. And that is exactly what we're not trying to do. Think about it this way. If I had said, wow, this is the end of it, I can never walk again, would it be funny? Maybe. But also, is that downplaying the seriousness of the situation? Definitely. Rather, making jokes about how I should be allowed to use a wheelchair every time there were stairs was a little bit easier and also light-hearted. It didn't downplay the seriousness of the situation. It didn't hurt me, nor did it hurt the people around me or someone that was facing the same pain. Rather, it helped us take a moment and helped us realize that if we look at this from a different perspective, maybe it's not that bad. Okay, now leave you and I, leave the science, let's look at the world for a second. During World War II, the Brits coined the extremely famous phrase, keep calm and carry on. But what actually helped them carry on was not the fact that the world might be ending, but rather mocking their political decisions, mocking the government around them, making cartoons. It helped us realize that regardless of how horrible the situation is across the planet, there is still laughter, there is still joy. Pain can be eased. Who can forget the COVID-19 pandemic, right? How many of us remember the toilet paper roll shortages? The songs being made out of the toilet paper roll shortages. I mean, sitting across the planet, people were making jokes about how their houses were exotic vacation spots. I mean, in India, I was in the Bahamas, so, you know. But regardless of all of that, what it helped with was the isolation wasn't the end of the world. Sitting in my room alone, I could have related to someone across the planet simply because they have the same sense of humor as I do. But looking at more serious situations, whether it's Afghanistan, Ukraine, Russia, or Syria, these countries are facing humanitarian crisis. There's very little we can do sitting here. We're privileged to be talking about these issues. But even in places like these, even in spaces like these, there are people who are there to spread joy. Clowns Without Borders is an organization that helps young children look at the joy. Even in the middle of a humanitarian crisis, there is joy, there is a future, there is hope. And isn't that what we all really need at the end of the day? To remind us that we're resilient, we're strong, there's hope, there's the future. I mean, when the world is spinning out of control, or rather spining out of control, because I broke my spine. Okay, they told me to remove that one, but trust me. When the world is spinning out of control, at the end of the day, what we, you and I need is to remember that there is resilience, there is hope, and there is a future. So when I'm laughing around about my back, what I'm actually telling you is that give it a year, I'll be walking straight again. What I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes sadness, pain, and anger is all we can feel. And that is okay. No one is diminishing that. No one is telling you the way you feel is wrong or it's invalid. Rather, sometimes it's okay if those are the only things you can feel. But when you can, tell that bad joke. I certainly did. Share that awkward story. I know I did. And let yourself laugh. Because you might be broken, or you might not be broken, but at the end of the day, what matters is you're standing strong. I mean, isn't that what humor teaches us? It doesn't solve the problems, but for someone like me, I might be bent, definitely not broken yet. Thank you.